Now, the idea of this video had started when I had posted something about a Sangwon photo card that I had put at the back of my phone, which led to an almost 2-hour conversation with a friend that I had lost touch with about how weirdly attached people are to K-pop idols. The gist of the conversation was that she thought it was weird that I have a photo of essentially a stranger at the back of my phone, which then prompted me to also think that it was weird that I have a photo of someone I don't know at the back of my phone, which somehow led to me wanting to analyze parasocial relationships as a marketing strategy within the K-pop industry and their consequences. And FYI, I don't have Sangwon at the back of my phone case after me and my friend had that impromptu discussion. So take that as you will. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I should clarify what a parasocial relationship is for those who are unaware. Google defines parasocial interaction as a kind of psychological relationship experienced by an audience in their mediated encounters with performers in the mass media, particularly on television and on online platforms. And mind you, this type of relationship isn't bound by K-pop or even music in general. If you have people in your family that enjoy sports and feel the need to run around the house whenever their team wins a match, then you've witnessed parasocial interaction live. And I want to state for the record that I don't think parasocial interaction is inherently wrong, and that's not what I want the takeaway of this video to be. For me to try to stigmatize parasocial relationships in general would be stupid, seeing as I'm a K-pop stan, meaning I'm constantly engaging in an industry that thrives off of the idol stan connection. What I'm trying to say is that, much like everything that is good and well on this planet, sometimes K-pop stans in particular can take things too far, and I feel as though companies often play a huge role in that. It's not to say that companies are responsible for sasaengs and fans who would jump through hoops to defend their faves for even the most heinous of crimes, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own actions and the way you react to the media that you consume. But a lot of K-pop stans are young and impressionable, and a lot of K-pop agencies take that sense of obligation that fans have to support their favorite idols by streaming and buying albums and twist it in order to make money. There's a certain level of importance placed on a K-pop fan by companies. A very, for lack of a better term, Delulu-centric relationship that isn't really all that common amongst musicians in most other countries. And this rhetoric pushed by companies and idols alike, that they won't be able to succeed if their fans aren't consistently supporting them, that they're just as obsessed with their fans as their fans are with them, is both a blessing and a curse. A double-edged sword, if you will. Because, as the saying goes, you give someone a hand and they take the whole arm. And K-pop stans are a living, breathing example of this, especially K-netizens, referring to K-pop stans who are living in Korea. Because let's be honest, delusion is profitable, and agencies know and abuse this fact more than any other. I can't tell you the amount of skits I've seen, specifically from boy groups, where they're pining for their fans in the vein of a love story, with the stan watching the video chosen as the group member's object of affection. Do I enjoy watching those skits? Well, that's neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is that a feigned personal relationship is the norm within the K-pop industry, leading to K-pop stans feeling entitled to the idols which they stan. I mean, stan entitlement is the whole reason why dating scandals even exist to begin with, and why they're taken as seriously as they are. Because if someone you like, who said that they like you back, turns around and starts dating someone else, it's only natural to feel betrayed. This kind of idol-stan relationship blurs the lines between fan and celebrity, leading to high levels of jealousy when a K-pop idol is revealed to be dating someone, especially within Korean K-pop stans. A most recent example of this would be Seunghan, a member of Rookie SM boy group Rise. A disclaimer that this is all alleged, because I haven't seen the photos myself, so I can't truly confirm what the content of those pictures are. I'm just going off of the information I've been able to find on sites that cover K-pop topics, like Soompi. When photos of him and his girlfriend were leaked, it caused a genuine uproar amongst the more, shall we say, passionate stans. And on top of other videos of him apparently smoking, This led to SM eventually putting out a written statement on the 22nd of November 2023, just 3 months after their debut, stating that Seunghan would be going on an indefinite hiatus. Of course, the letter is vague in its reasonings as to exactly why he's going on this hiatus, and it stated that the decision was mutual between him and SM Entertainment. But if you, like me, have been keeping an eye on the industry for years, it's easy to infer the main cats list of Rise now operating as 6 members instead of the original 7. This is the same entitlement that led to ENHYPEN needing to change their choreography for one of their title tracks, Bite Me, which originally consisted of ENHYPEN doing partner work with female dancers during the chorus. This, once again, led to outrage, and the choreography was promptly changed to, in my opinion, something much less dynamic and much less fun to watch. But these 2 instances are just some of the many examples of the adverse effect that companies pushing this romantic aspect of parasocial connection between idols and stans can have. But do these companies care? No, not at all. As long as this delusion-enabling kind of marketing still sells, then they'll keep at it until it doesn't. And that day isn't coming anytime soon. For this section, I'm going to specifically be referencing the experience I personally had while watching the HYBE survival show Island, which led to the formation of ENHYPEN. If you don't know what a survival show is, it's essentially a gathering of young hopefuls from South Korea and beyond, usually formatted similarly to a reality show in the vein of dramatic music and editing that blows disagreeable moments way out of proportion, where these contestants go through challenges and perform covers as well as original songs. Sometimes people from the outside, Korea, and globally get to vote, with the intention of not being eliminated and securing a place for themselves in the K-pop group that'll be formed by the end. Think Produce 48 for IZ*ONE or Girls Planet 999 for Kepler. I'm choosing Island not because I believe it's the most poignant example, but simply because it's the only survival show I've ever watched all the way through, multiple times. And as I watched Island, I slowly formed an attachment to some of the contestants. And even though I already knew the lineup because I had watched it after ENHYPEN had formed, I couldn't help but be absolutely crushed seeing these people go to ground, which is essentially the place that you go right before you're eliminated. Everyone around them was so sad, and seeing them cry their eyes out as they hugged their new friends goodbye made me want to cry. And I did cry, multiple times throughout the course of watching the show. I felt for them the same way I feel for some of my closest friends. I wanted them to debut, and when they did, I wanted to support them and interact with everything that they posted and buy every album that they came out with, which is how I got the Sangwon photo card in the first place. Now, you may be a little confused as to how me watching Island led to me buying one of their albums, but it'll make sense in a bit, so hang in there. If you think about these idol survival shows, Produce 101 and 48, Girls Planet 999 and the like, there's a common thread that connects each of their respective final groups: instant success. Of course, not all of these groups find the same level of success, and those trainees turned idols are all actually talented, there's no doubt about it. But besides their talent, one factor that aids in their popularity is emotional attachment. Survival shows usually take place under grueling conditions, with extremely difficult challenges needing to be completed in short time spans. Hopefuls fly from all over Asia and around the world, effectively having to leave their support systems in the like of friends and family, and facing a good portion of these problems not even understanding the Korean language. And these contestants consist of mostly younger people, with their ages even going as low as 12 years old in some cases. And the average person feels sympathy for such a young person having to navigate high-stress situations while cameras are being shoved into their face around the clock as they cry and pass out from lack of sleep. It's the same technique used in other pieces of media, such as movies, TV shows, and books. Laying out the groundwork of a character's more personable traits, allowing the audience to witness them struggling to face adversity and crumbling under the weight of the issues they're up against, makes rooting for them and their eventual success that much easier. Even going as far as to allow non-participants who are simply viewing the survival show an opportunity to have a say as to who exactly is going to have a spot in the final group through audience voting is another attachment. Because if you vote, that means that there was a participant who you found to be deserving of a spot in the group, whether it be for their talents or personality. Or, I don't know, maybe you just thought they were hot and you wanted to see fan cams and thirst edits of them. I won't judge. But the point is, you wanted so badly for them to be in the group that you were willing to take time out of your day to fill in your email, fake or not, and vote for them before the eventual deadline. And that care is a company's way to squeeze right into your pockets. That care translates into you watching music videos, streaming their songs on various platforms, buying albums, going to concerts, and even voting for them during award shows. And this care doesn't go unseen by other non-K-pop companies. The K-idol is the perfect ambassador, with wildly supportive fans who up the recognition of lesser-known brands and increase sales all across the board. When Jennie of Blackpink became a Chanel ambassador, she increased sales by as high as 20%, leading to her being dubbed the Human Chanel. Taeyang of BTS's ambassadorship with Cartier, a French jewelry brand already extremely well-known and appraised before they signed him on, led to the official Cartier website crashing as fans scrambled to buy the jewels that he was wearing in his announcement photo shoot. An idol has the power to sell anything. I mean, each member of NewJeans is respectively already an ambassador for a high fashion brand. Hani for Gucci, Minji for Chanel, Danielle for Burberry, Haerin for Dior, and Haein for Louis Vuitton. And they haven't even been a group for a full 2 years yet. Speaking of Louis Vuitton, they seem to be one of the high fashion brands most willing and eager to sign K-pop idols on. They had BTS as a full group for 2 years or so. They're working with the Seraphim, Haein as previously mentioned, and even Rise. Which is great because get that bag, but also LV's clothes are very hit or miss. So Rise, please get behind me. I will find you a way out and a bigger check, I promise. But anyways, the K-pop industry and the idol face isn't just boosting profits for Korean agencies or even Korean companies. From fast food chains to home appliance manufacturers to car brands, there isn't a sector within the consumer sphere that doesn't want a taste of the K-pop idol experience. And I'm not sure on the psychology of it, but I've noticed within myself and my own behavior that when a K-pop idol I like becomes the ambassador of a brand, I tend to be more enticed by what said brand has to offer as a result. Whether it be simply because you want to support an idol in all their endeavors, or because you want to be more like the idols which you stan, there's just something about seeing an idol hold a product that makes you want it that much more. As you probably know by now, K-pop stans tend to go too far sometimes. I mean, that's essentially what they're known for among locals. And I'm so sorry to have to use that word unironically. But this isn't to say that they're the only people who are guilty of this. Because there are plenty of people who listen to artists and start to believe that said artists can do no wrong, which leads to them viciously attacking anyone else who thinks otherwise. Whether it be Nicki Minaj and her passionate fans, Taylor Swift and her carbon emissions, or Chris Brown with his proven abuse allegations that hoes swear we just have to get over. There isn't a bar in this world or the next that rabid stans aren't willing to go under for the sake of their idol, K-pop or otherwise. However, this bordering on deranged devotion is oxymoronic by nature, designed to be as amazing for K-pop idols as it is life-threatening. And yes, I do mean that literally. Enter the sasang. I found this definition on Wikipedia, so it may not be the most accurate, but I believe it sums up the basics pretty succinctly. According to every English teacher's worst nightmare, a sasang or sasang fan is a South Korean term for an obsessive fan who acts in ways that invade the privacy of Korean idols, drama actors, or other public figures, as a threat of the entertainment industry. One of the most notable of such activities is stalking. Now, after hearing this downright terrifying definition, it may be difficult to understand why someone like this would even be called a fan, because theoretically, no fan would ever want to endanger their idol in any way, right? Right? But a sasaeng fan is born when love and devotion bleeds into obsession and a deep-seated craving for an idol's attention. Think about it this way. If 100 people shake your hand and the 101st person punches you in the throat, who are you going to remember the next day? If you aren't dead, that is, because you did just get punched in the throat. Analogy aside, their motivation is acknowledgement, and they just so happen to find that the best ways to receive said acknowledgement are through invading the private lives of idols, even going as far as to attempt to cause the idol or themselves bodily harm, all in the name of being noticed by this idol. And some of the sasaeng's chosen methods, which we'll get into in a second, are, without sugarcoating it, depraved. If you've ever wondered why K-pop idols react so nonchalantly when getting phone calls from stans who definitely should not have their numbers, it's most likely because they know, through first-hand experience, or through otherwise, just how much worse it can get. Though an immediate concern within the current K-pop generation, it was during its inception, in the first and second gen of K-pop, where sasaengs were something of an epidemic. TVXQ, a first-gen boy group under SM Entertainment, had some brutal encounters with their very own sasaengs during their heyday. They've experienced getting their phones tapped, having their dorm broken into, with someone even going as far as to lace orange juice with super glue and giving it to then-member Yuno, resulting in him having to get his stomach pumped. Taekyeon, a member of second-generation group 2PM under JYP, once had a fan write with their own period blood as a way to show adoration, having it posted on SNS. And sasaengs engaging in self-harm and using their own blood to write to idols isn't as uncommon as it should be, having occurred with Wonder Girls after their disbandment in an attempt to get them back together. But there is one idol in particular who has suffered tremendously at the hands of obsessive fans, the golden boy of the most popular K-pop group ever, Jungkook. One such instance is the infamous cut for cookie trend, which is exactly what it sounds like. Essentially, in 2016, photos of what looked like Jungkook with a girl had surfaced, leading to some people harming themselves in an attempt to get him to stop seeing said girl and remain single. In 2021, after a year-long break from Twitter, Jungkook had returned with a simple selfie on his bed. Within 15 minutes, some fans had found the exact bed that he was sitting on, almost selling it out. In some sick twist of irony, that kind of behavior was the exact reason that he had been off social media in the first place. They've even gone as far as to sell out a toothbrush that he was using in a vlog in 2019. And after all of this, I'm slightly surprised that Jungkook even still finds joy in being an idol. After hearing this, I'm surprised that anyone still dreams of being an idol in general. But I'd argue that the more deranged fans are balanced out by people who just happen to like the music and want to support the people making it. This video was nothing but a brain dump and a cautionary tale, to hopefully encourage you to engage in parasocial connection in a healthy way that doesn't endanger yourself or the idols that you love. It's vital when being a part of this kind of industry to be able to distinguish between what's real and what's been manufactured, and to remember just how many people love the group or groups that you stan as much as you do. We don't all get noticed by idols, and that's okay. The music still slaps, the members are still interacting with you on a wider scale, and you can still enjoy being a K-pop stan. I know a majority of us joke about being married to idols and feign jealousy under edit comment sections. But in the wise words of Lady Gaga,
let's stay playful together.
Let those jokes remain just jokes, And let's all practice some degree of separation from an industry that wants nothing more than to suck you in deeper and deeper until your love for K pop becomes a detriment. Thanks for watching.